Good evening and welcome to the July 14th, 2022 regular board meeting of the School District of Haverford Township. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we'll hear the district's mission and goals.
The mission statement of the School District of Haverford Township is to educate and to inspire a community of lifelong learners who become well-rounded global citizens.
The 2020 through 2025 district goals are social and emotional wellness, to produce a community of empathetic and resilient learners with skills to socially and emotionally flourish, to prepare contemporary citizens, modernize and expand learning experiences to prepare students as critical thinkers, problem solvers, innovators, and designers within a complex global society, and diversity and inclusion. Establish a culturally diverse and inclusive educational experience that develops socio-cultural proficiency.
Thank you. And now our board secretary, Ms. Martha Q, please call the roll.
Dr. Crispin.
Here.
Dr. King.
Here.
Dr. Larson.
Here.
Dr. McKay.
Here.
Mr. Schwartz.
Here.
Ms. Snodgrass.
Here.
Ms. Vitale.
Here.
Mr. Feinberg.
Here.
Ms. Wiedemann.
Here. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the minutes. I will accept a motion to approve the official minutes from the June 16th, 2022 regular public board meeting.
King moved. Crispin second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. During the summer, we don't have our student reports, so we'll move on to our superintendent report.
Thank you, Ms. Wiedemann. First of all, hopefully you noticed some improvements here in the room. We want to thank students at our high school who have created the H that's on display here, and we've been trying to spruce it up a little bit, so really appreciate all the work that our district staff have been doing to make this room a little more welcoming and comfortable for those who utilize it. One item that I do wish to mention, last week we held a Finance and Facilities Committee meeting, and at the conclusion of that meeting, there was a discussion about moving forward for discussion tonight and a possible vote this evening, a proposal from the co-op with respect to placing solar panels on the roof at Linwood Elementary. In addition to moving that forward, there was also a statement that there were we would consult with our solicitor as well. Through that consultation, there were a few additional legal matters that we hope to be able to clarify and provide the board with more information for a discussion, hopefully sometime at a future meeting in August. The feasibility and facilities study that you may recall approving at a prior meeting is underway. We met with those consultants and they're beginning that work. Many of our capital projects are underway throughout the summer. So we appreciate all the work that our maintenance staff are undertaking, and in some cases, the additional work that our custodians are undertaking because of the nature of some of these projects as well. In August, we return to a typical schedule of meetings. So there will be 2 action meetings in the month of August. There'll be committee meetings as well. So it's just this month of July where we have an abbreviated schedule of those meetings. We received information late in the day on Friday about additional funding that we will be receiving, we and other school districts receiving for mental health and also for safety and security. There will be an application process that is supposed to be initiated on August 1st with a completion date of August 30th. So we'll be well underway taking a look at, we've already identified some mental health supports as part of our budget process that we went through in the spring. And we'll continue to look at our list of safety needs that we have across the district and see how we can utilize those dollars in the best way to support our students and keep everyone safe across the district. This evening, concluding in the superintendent's comments, this evening we have members of our community who are making a book donation. There are a total of 40 titles and a quantity of 80 books that are going to be donated and use. Our recommendation is that we accept the donation this evening, and the books can be placed into our schools across the district. And I'm not going to say anything more about the donation because the people who organized the book drive are here tonight and can talk with us a little bit about that, and we can express our appreciation.
Oh, we're doing it now.
We'll do it now.
Okay.
As a presentation.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Rushi. Good evening, board and residents. My name is Elena Wisely, and I will be discussing the book donations this evening. In accordance with the district goals for 2020 to 2025, I wish to submit these books to the school district for the purpose of assisting in preparing our children as critical thinkers and problem solvers, as well as to assist with establishing a culturally diverse and inclusive educational experience that will develop socio-cultural proficiency. In today's climate, race and culture are often confused. However, as many of these authors' work will prove, race is neither the propeller of culture nor is it the anchor. Rather, socio-cultural components consist of belief systems, political organizations, economic systems, and arts and leisure. However, most of the books within our district are reflective of only one set of socio-cultural tendencies that reflect the belief system of one subset of a specific political organization. Our goal is to expand these components to not only include other political structures and belief systems, but also to break down the barriers that separate us by color, in showing that both systems are not as simplistic and divided based on one thing or the other, but rather a complex structure that consists of multiple beliefs and varying opinions throughout a system, which is comprised of people from every background and social structure. This will further expand the capability of acceptance of different views, improve critical thinking skills, and improve proficiency in sociocultural phenomena. This book drive was inspired by a book donation that I announced for Black History Month of a children's book about Thomas Sowell, which received a thunderous applause. I realized then that we must be the ones to donate these books into the school district if we wish for our district to be truly inclusive and culturally diverse. We wish to donate these books in honor of Mr. William Bryan, who is passionate about the education of our children. Mr. Bryan was a proud patriot and devoted much of his life to servicing this community. The very day that we started the book drive, we found out of his passing. We wish to donate these books. The first author, Thomas Sowell, for whom the drive was inspired by, is an influential economist who is known for his books on economy, intellect, education, critical thinking, race, ethnicity, and socioeconomic status. He was born impoverished in Harlem, New York in 1930 and devoted his life to writing books. These books include Basic Economics, Wealth, Poverty, and Politics, Discrimination and Disparities, Intellectuals and Race, Intellectuals and Society, Inside the American Education, The Decline, the Discipline, the Dogmas, Race and Culture, A Worldview, The Conflict of Visions, Ideological Origins of Political Struggles, Charter Schools and Their Enemies, Economics, Facts, and Fallacies. Our next author, Shelby Seal, the recipient of National Medal of Humanities 2004, who specializes in the study of race relations, multiculturalism, and his books include White Guilt, The Content of Our Character, A New Vision of Race in America. Our next author, Nicole Saffer, a physician and medical news commentator. Her book is Panic Attack, Playing Politics with Science in the Fight Against COVID-19. Next, Milton Friedman, the winner of the Nobel Prize, born of Jewish immigrants in 1912. The most influential advocate of free markets and a specialist in inflation. We could really use his help right now. Maybe we can start by reading this book. Capitalism and Freedom. Carol M. Swain, from high school dropout and teenage mother to highly accomplished university professor and public intellectual. Her book, Be the People, A Call to Reclaim America's Faith and Promise. Walter E. Williams, hailed from my hometown of Philadelphia. He served in the Army and actively fought Jim Crow laws, literally by himself. He was an economist and academic. His book, Race and Economics. Robert L. Woodson Sr. is an American civil rights activist, community development leader, and author, recipient of the Genius Award in 1990 and the Presidential Citizens Award in 2008. His book, Red, White, and Black, Rescuing American History from Revisionists and Race Hustlers. Next, Kenny Zhu, president and founder of Color Us United, an advocacy and public affairs group. His book, An Inconvenient Minority. In addition, we donated a children's book to introduce the concept of American and patriotism to our youngest readers. These include Our Pledge, Our Promise, The Pledge of Allegiance Explained, A is for America, Know Your Rights, A Children's Guide to a Constitution, Amy Coney Barrett, A Justice and a Mother, Founders' Fables, Thomas Sowell, A Self-Made Man. That is the book that started this. American Symbols, What You Need to Know. F is for Flag, Otto's Tales. National Anthem, Pledge of Allegiance, President's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and Columbus Day. When you have friends from other places in the world, you may find that their knowledge is significantly different from yours. This is because we look at things through a lens, rather than as a whole. For example, did any of you know that the United Nations was founded in part by communists? If your answer is no, then it may be because your exposure to information was limited to what your institution wanted you to know. Please do not limit our children on knowledge and accept these books. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is public comment. The board values public comment as an essential component of school governance that adds information for the deliberation of the important and complex matters that come before the board. It is not a question and answer period. It's an opportunity for the members of the community to address the board. While we conduct our business in open public meetings according to the Sunshine Act, it is not a meeting with the public. Our public comment is divided into two sections. The first section is for comments pertaining to items on tonight's agenda. The agenda is published on our school district website in the school board section under school docs. There is a later time for public comment on other school-related matters. Residents of the township may, in advance of the meeting, sign up to make public comment by emailing publiccomment@haverfordsd.net. Per our board policy, you will have 3 minutes to address the board. At the 3-minute point, a timer will sound and you will be asked to conclude your remarks. Please begin your comments by stating your name and confirming your residency in Haverford Township. If you have any materials to distribute, please give them to Ms. Martha Q at the end of the table. Your name and the topic of your comments will be recorded in our meeting minutes. We have 2 people who signed up for items pertaining to the agenda. The first is Helene Conroy-Smith.
Good evening. I am Helene Conroy-Smith, and I do live here in Haverford Township. I want to discuss the PSBA proposed legislative advocacy, the Proposal 2.6, mental and emotional health, along with Proposal 2, gun safety, and are not the sole responsibility of our school board members. Larry Feinberg, you may not be gaining any financial gain in part because you're not receiving anything financial. However, you are a paying contractor of PSBA, and I'm just asking you to really be careful in what you're doing. Public school knows that PSBA began as a nonpartisan group to support local school boards with the training of on legislative laws and public ed laws, both on the state and federal level. PSBA has been upended into an association of public school leaders, which you're not a leader, you are school board officials, you are elected officials. And they said that they are advancing excellence in education. SEL is not data-driven, and it is not excellence-driven. Through the superior training, which it is not teaching local school boards the laws. And as we saw that in the tabling of a conversation back in March of 2022, when the school board meeting had to table a vote based upon masking. It also says it has a powerful advocacy, which this is now a movement into lobbying for whatever ice cream flavor of the month. Is it forced masking, killing of our grandmothers, Ukraine, or gun control, or the school shootings? This board needs to distance itself from PSBA and remain loyal to its local constituents. Many of your recent policies have come under the UN. And last I checked, the people elected all of you the people, the constituents of Haverford Township elected all of you to represent us of Haverford Township. So I clearly ask you to please stop with the political nonsense that is occurring. You are separating and dividing this community. I'm asking you please to stop because it is impacting our children. And I'm a very good mother, and I took my youngest out of the school district because I saw what was coming. I'm protecting my children. And what you have done impacted my middle child. And I'm asking you to stop now. Thank you.
The second speaker is Mr. Jim Brown.
My name is Jim Brown. I live on Manoa Road here in Haverford Township and have 3 grandchildren in the Haverford School District. I spent my professional life as an educator, and I know firsthand students' academic efforts will suffer and often fail if they're faced with emotional issues they cannot manage on their own. Nothing makes a teacher feel more helpless and heartbroken than to talk with a troubled, depressed student and not have any professional help to offer them. If a school has no mental health professionals, it is dooming some students to failure. It's easy to say we didn't have that stuff when I was a kid. It's impossible to say how many students in the past have failed, dropped out, or just not lived up to their potential because there was no mental health professional available to give them hope and coping skills. No student would be forced to take advantage of this kind of help, but it's irresponsible for an educational system to not offer it. I applaud this board for considering this whole student approach to supporting student success. Based on the overwhelming number of voters who elected you, I'm confident the vast majority of township residents will appreciate your approach. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the committee reports, and we have the Finance and Facility Committee report from Mr. Dave Schwartz.
Okay, thank you very much. So we had the Finance and Facilities meeting last Friday, and we had a couple updates. First of all, from our construction. Linwood is still out there, is very, very close to being done. We have 1 change order left. We have a retaining wall and fencing, which should be up pretty soon, and the signing on the side should be replaced by the end of August. At that point, we can probably begin closeout documentation and get this project fully completed in the books. High school phase 1 is also, at this point, predominantly complete. There was a little bit of money left in that original, in the phase 1 contract, which was moved on to phase 2, the music wing. Phase 2 is well underway. You probably have seen it. I'm sure you have. The parking lot currently is being redone. It so far is on schedule and on budget as well, under budget, actually. Chatham Park is also on schedule. We are getting some credits back for a couple of items, a couple of change orders here and there for some E&Os, errors, and omissions, which are part of any large contract, but those are being redone right now, but things are looking pretty good. Same story with Coopertown. For both of the schools, actually, the construction going on in the summer will not impact opening. So we are well on the way with those. Those keep on moving. The other big update was the M&T lot. The M&T lot is being redone. It was actually something that we were looking to do a couple of years ago before COVID hit, and it's been in pretty bad shape now for quite some time. That is being redone right now. The parking lot is being repaved. You may have noticed buses that are now parked at various schools from district while the lot is being redone. One of the things that did come up that was unexpected was we had to look at some of the gas tanks that are there. They are very old. They're about 30 years old now. They still function. They are still in decent shape, but just for the board's kind of advance warning, we will probably be presented with an order to fix those at some point this fall, just because they have reached the end of their useful life. Other than that, though, the M&T lot is going pretty well, should be done. The other thing that was being discussed, Dr. Rushi mentioned, was the potential solar on Linwood, and as was also mentioned by Dr. Rushi, due to some lingering legal concerns with that, that discussion will be moved to a subsequent meeting. We are actively working with some of our council to resolve those as rapidly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, we are now in the finance facilities portion of the agenda. Item A is our bill list. I will accept a motion to approve disbursements from the following funds as listed.
Feinberg moved.
Schwartz, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill list is approved. Item B is change orders. I will accept a motion to accept the recommendation of the project architect, KCBA and Associates, Inc., and owner's representative, CB Development Services, Inc., and authorize the change orders totaling $97,054.80 as listed.
Crispin move.
Snodgrass, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Change orders are approved. Item C is the maintenance and transportation project change order. I will accept a motion to accept the recommendation of SDEI electrical engineer and J.R. Guglielmi, director of facilities, and authorize the change order totaling $7,150 as listed.
Schwartz moved.
King second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item D is a lease approval. I will welcome a motion to approve 2 agreements with Apple Financial Services for 2 technology leases as follows.
Crispin move. Larson second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The computer leases are approved. Item E, tax assessment appeal resolution. I will accept a motion to authorize special counsel for tax assessment appeals to resolve the following assessment appeal pending in the Court of Common Pleas of Delaware County under the following terms.
Larson moved.
Snodgrass, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item F is the CCRES agreement. I will accept a motion to approve the agreement between the School District of Haverford Township and CCRES to provide educational services, instructional services, and similar services on a regional basis at the request of SDHT for a 1-year term starting July 1st, 2022.
Crispin move.
Schwartz, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item G is the CCIU agreement for online courses through Brandywine Virtual Academy. I will accept a motion to approve the agreement between the School District of Haverford Township and the Chester County Intermediate Unit for online courses through Brandywine Virtual Academy.
Feinberg moved.
I heard a move. Is there a second?
Schwartz, second.
Moved and second. Any conversation?
For the public, can somebody just clarify how this is different from Haverford Online?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Haverford Online is open to all students. This potential use of the Brandywine Virtual Academy is typically for students who require out-of-district or settlement placement based on disciplinary issues.
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. We are now in the human resources portion of the agenda, and item A is for retirement and resignations. I will accept a motion to accept the following retirements and resignations as listed.
Vitale moved. Larson second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's approved. Item B is appointments. And you can see our Human Resources Department has been busy this summer. I will accept a motion to approve the following appointments as listed below, contingent upon receipt of all necessary clearances, including Act 168 of 2014.
Feinberg move.
Snodgrass, second.
Competition. to get in.
Everybody wants your appointments.
Any discussion?
Great to see, I mean, great to see all these staff additions. It's goes to the, work of our HR department. It's great. It's awesome to see. Good, the gear up for next year.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Appointments are approved. The 3 pages of appointments are approved. Item C is the food services stipend. I will accept a motion to ratify the 2021-2022 food services employee stipend of $500.
Crispin moved. Larson second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's approved. In item 8, the section on pupil services, item A is for a foreign exchange student. I welcome a motion to approve the enrollment and registration of a foreign exchange student at Haverford High School for the 2022-23 school year.
Feinberg move.
Larson second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just curious, where are they coming from?
I believe France.
Okay.
Yes.
And do we have any program or supports in place to help acclimate students who, I'm assuming the student speaks some English.
The student speaks fluent English.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B is the 2021 through 2024 Special Education Plan. I will accept a motion to approve the 2021 to 2024 Special Education Plan as presented at the May 26th, 2022 Board Curriculum Committee meeting and summarized at the June 16th, 2022 Board meeting.
Crispin moved.
Snodgrass, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just a friendly reminder that the curriculum committee meeting, we had this presentation and I think there's one other that we're approving tonight. Is that right? That were at the meeting and they were very comprehensive presentations. I feel like that was kind of a long meeting actually. So for anybody curious about that and what's entailed in this plan, I would definitely recommend people go back and watch that meeting from May 26th.
And the plan was on our website and open to comment. I'm curious if there was any comment from the public that informed any changes to the plan since the presentation?
I'm seeing Nicole
No,
there.
no, okay. What was it, 154-page plan or something like that?
It was a really thorough presentation.
Very
Very
thorough,
thorough.
very thorough.
Yeah.
Any other comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The special education plan is approved. Item C is the ESY, the extended school year contract approval. I will accept a motion to approve the following educational contracts for students attending out-of-district ESY placements for the summer of 2022.
King moved.
Larson second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item D is out-of-district educational contracts. I will accept a motion to approve the following educational contracts for students attending out-of-district placement for the 2022-23 school year, including ESY.
Vitale moved. Crispin second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item E is special education administrative proceeding. I will welcome a motion to accept the recommendation of special counsel and authorize the resolution of the pending special education administrative proceeding and authorize the administration to implement the terms of the resolution as listed below.
McKay moved.
Crispin second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seems like our special education department has been very busy this summer too. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item F is educational service contracts. I will accept a motion to approve the following educational service contracts for services provided to students and/or staff with the district.
Crispin moved.
For a second.
Moved in a battle for second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. In item 9, curriculum and instruction, the first item is item A for the book donation. I will welcome a motion to accept the donation of approximately 40 books as a result of a community book drive organized by Elena Wisely and Alexis Pasternak in memory of Mr. William Bryan.
Feinberg, move.
Larson, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Books are a lovely tribute. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The donation is warmly accepted. Thank you. Item B is 2022 to 2025 comprehensive plan. I will accept a motion to approve the 2022 to 2025 comprehensive plan as presented at the May 26th, 2022 Board Curriculum Committee meeting and summarized at the June 16th, 2022 Board meeting.
Crispin moved. Snodgrass, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The lengthy and well-compiled and researched comprehensive plan is approved. Thank you. Item C is student educational excursion, and I appreciate their planning ahead. I accept a motion to approve the high school choir, approximately 50 students, to attend Disney World in Orlando, Florida for performances from March 31st to April 3rd, 2023.
Snodgrass moved.
Schwartz, second.
How many board chaperones
I was gonna say, do they need chaperones? I
Well-
appreciate that they're planning for spring break already.
Yeah.
I know, I like it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The educational excursion is approved. In item 10 of our board agenda is item A, to accept changes to the school board policies 907, visitors, 908, relations with parents and guardians, and policy 909, municipal government relations. So I will accept a motion to accept the changes to policies 907, visitors, 908, relations with parent guardians, and 909, municipal government relations.
McKay moved. Snodgrass, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
So we had a policy committee meeting, it was several months ago now, where we discussed these policies. We made a recommendation to bring them to the board at the policy committee level, and then we've already had 2 readings of these. I think there were some changes to 1 or 2 of them, during those 2 readings. And so this is our 3rd and final reading where we're asking the board to approve these policies, several of which needed, overdue updates. And you'll see, if the board approves it tonight, it will go live on the website and you'll be able to see, you can see this with all of them, when the policies were last reviewed, were last adopted. So that will be updated. It'll be updated with this new language as well. Happy to discuss, this tonight, but also we've discussed it a lot.
To clarify, 907 is for when school is in session. Is that correct? For school visitors?
Yes, we talked about that at the
Okay,
committee
so-
meeting.
Okay.
I recall that.
It means visitors coming in to observe the educational program during the school day.
Yep.
Right, so the school day would be when school's in session.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Policies are approved. Under number 11, other items, item A is to approve a proposed PSBA legislative advocacy proposal for 2.6 mental and emotional health of students. I will accept a motion to add the proposal to item, for this item 2.6, item F, supporting initiatives and resources which directly address the mental and emotional health needs of students regarding disability, ethnicity, gender identity and expression, national origin, race, religion, sexuality, and socioeconomic status.
Larson moved.
Snodgrass, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I just wanted to explain this. This is not a typical vote that the board takes. So PSBA is the Pennsylvania School Boards Association. Every year, they adopt a legislative platform, and that is the PSBA's official record of positions on legislative issues that guide its advocacy efforts as it represents the 500 school districts across Pennsylvania. In the most recent legislative platform, there were 4 core principles. These included enacting meaningful charter school reform, providing significant continued financial investment in our public schools, addressing the pension funding crisis, and providing for safety and mental health needs of our students. As part of its annual process, it welcomes proposals from all of the 500 districts across the state to either support, create new, amend, or delete portions of that legislative platform. And the process is to submit the requested changes with a brief rationale. These are due by July 22nd, so there are 2 items on the agenda that would meet that deadline if approved tonight. What would happen if our board approves it is that they would then get submitted to the PSBA Platform Committee for consideration. That group collects all of the submissions from across the state, deliberates them, selects the ones to put forward. The committee is appointed of, I think, 16 representatives, 2 from each of the 8 sections across the state. They are going to meet in September. And then from that committee would be recommendations of the recommendations of the platform committee would go to the delegate assembly, which is occurring on November 5th. And we send 3 representatives. It will be Mr. Feinberg, Dr. McKay, and Dr. King. There are 3 representatives. They will join other representatives from school districts all across the state to discuss and vote on any proposed changes at the delegate assembly. So this is just our initial step to put in some suggestions that would then go through that process. So just putting that context in there, and this first one is the motion's been made. A little comment. Any other comments or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B is to approve proposed PSBA legislative advocacy proposal under 2.4 safety discipline issues. I will accept a motion to approve the addition of language E, common sense gun safety reforms that are critical to comprehensive school shooting deterrence because schools alone cannot bear the sole responsibility of gun violence prevention.
Schwartz moved.
Kristen, second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 12 on our agenda is public comment, other items, and we had someone sign up. Again, you'll have 3 minutes. Please state your name and confirm your residency in the township, and the speaker is Ms. Anita Scullin.
Hello, Anita Scullin, 1529 Sunny Hill Lane, Havertown. Haverford Township has been named one of the top 10 places to live near Philadelphia. An important reason for this is the excellence of our school district, which is rated as the 23rd best in the state by U.S. News and World Report. Our district is excellent because we have a school board, an administration, and a staff who work together cooperatively to provide high-quality educational programs for our children and to maintain a safe school atmosphere where all children feel comfortable to learn. We often hear complaints, many tenuous in nature, at school board meetings from small groups of disgruntled citizens. I think it's time to hear positive feedback as well. It's time for all of us to appreciate the work you do, to publicly recognize you and your work. So tonight, I'd like to just take one thing that I've found very interesting and very nice at the end of the school year that I'd like to talk about. It was the 2022 high school graduation. As the grandmother of 2 seniors, twin boys, I was fortunate to take part in many of the end of the year graduation celebrations at the high school. I attended awards night, which recognized students' many achievements. I attended the senior breakfast, where senior families were treated to delicious food and interacted with friends and staff. I was particularly impressed with the warm and comfortable atmosphere I felt in the building. I specifically want to highlight the coffee bar in the main hallway, run by the life skill students and their best buddies. My grandson informed me that the coffee bar is very popular and much appreciated. Finally, of course, I attended the graduation ceremony, which was well organized, dignified, yet warm and joyous. There was beautiful music, compliments of the school orchestra and chorus. There was a terrific speech by Mr. Donaghy, the high school principal, which had everybody smiling. Dr. Rushi, yours was very good too.
I never can top Mr. Donaghy.
No, he was a hard act to follow.
Every year.
It was the best principal's graduation speech I've ever heard, and as a retired high school teacher, I've heard many. The graduates were respectful and engaged, and the families were full of pride. So thank you to the board, the staff, and the administration of this school district for giving these students who missed out on a year and a half of in-person learning during their high school careers such a lovely send-off. It was much appreciated by all of us.
Thank you. The next item is board, she's two of them?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know there was two different ones. Okay, so, a second speaker is Helene Conroy-Smith.
Again, my name is Helene Conroy-Smith, and I'm here to talk about the concern for our current students on our forefront. I'm showing pictures of students at Manoa and Chestnut while their faces are covered out front of the building in May. The students were out front in April, May, and June, and parents have been driving by. As you can see, one of the parents actually kind of came back. There's a blue car here and the back of the blue car here, because there was a lot of debate and discussion about what's happening in our town and about gun safety. As this board kept telling parents that is their job to protect our students and to worry about what they're doing, many parents had their busy lives and were not realizing that their children were out front of the school building. In this community, they're exposed to criminals. You had a lofty discussion about children needing protection, and that was for naught. Our children were out front of the school building, as where they should be. However, there was so much discussion about guns. And then we look here at Coopertown Elementary, where the back door is open. Coopertown Elementary needs a fence around its playground area. All children all throughout the school district need to be protected. This board needs to spend its money on safety. I'm paying attention. And we have multiple parents, we have multiple students going throughout the buildings watching what's happening. Because as you were discussing your political progressive values, you're not focusing on our children. I'm glad to hear tonight that you're going to increase special ed spending, but we need to really look at the safety. That money for safe schools needs to be spent for our kids. We need a fence on Coopertown. If we're going to keep our kids outside at Chestnut and Manoa, there better be a police officer outside standing there for those kids. And again, my kid's not here, and there's a reason for that. Thank you.
The next item is board reports. I'll start with Dr. King.
No report.
Mr. Schwartz.
No report.
No report.
Okay, okay.
No report.
No report.
Okay, bear with me. I have a report, and this is actually going to be a little bit. If you come to a lot of our school board meetings or watch them, you'll know that the topic of wellness, mental health, social, emotional wellness comes up a lot. In fact, it's one of, when we list out our district goals, social, emotional wellness is one of them. As a parent, I'm greatly appreciative of that because a lot of our students now are struggling. And with the backdrop of social emotional wellness in mind, I want to bring up a concern I have about social emotional wellness at our elementary schools. I believe as a parent, our elementary schools have always done a tremendous job of fostering a sense of belonging at their schools. You were proud to be a Linwood Lion, a Chatham Park Bulldog, and the schools did that by having events throughout the year, coupled with PTO events, time-honored traditions, events all the kids look forward to. In fact, a lot of parents participated. A lot of our people in our district, our parents went to schools here, grandparents did. And obviously, over the course of COVID, a lot of these events went away. They had to. And our children lost out. And that's heartbreaking because you can't get that back. But it's understandable at the same time. I know with last year, we had a kind of a return to normalcy. A lot of events came back. And I know children were excited. Parents were too. And in my mind, when the marquee event of the elementary school calendar has always been Field Day. Field Day, in case you don't know, is an outdoor event held typically in May or June at all of the 5 elementary schools. It's all day, typically K through 2 goes in the morning, and grades 3 through 5 are in the afternoon. Music, a DJ, just, I describe it as joy or happiness in a bottle. It is just so much fun. With my older 2 boys who are done at Linwood, I loved going there. I love watching it, seeing them smile. Children just bond, like these events that the schools have, the children form connections to each other, to their schools, to their community. And I, like most parents, was very excited to see all this come back this year. Indeed, even with my oldest 2, you see I've done 2 times the graduation coordinator for Linwood. Field Day pictures fill the slideshows. When you ask children of that era what their favorite memories of Linwood was in the yearbook, and I'm sure this goes for the other elementary schools, people would say Field Day, or when this happened at Field Day. It's what childhood should be about. It's just pure fun, and it's great seeing the children make connections and feel an attachment to their school. I was approached with children who play a lot of sports, Brookline, HTBL. I was approached back in May by lots of Chatham Park parents who were really upset that their field day was gone. And I said, what do you mean your field day is gone? And they said, well, it's not a day anymore, it's an hour. All the fun games, and I guess I should be a little bit more descriptive. Field day, you do with your class. You go and you rotate station to station. Fun games, tug of war, pizza box relays. There's always 1 or 2 games with water. My favorite of which was always the sponge race, where the 2 halves of the class line up, empty bucket in front of you, full bucket on the other side, sponge, you're running, you fill the sponge, you run back, first team to fill the bucket wins. It's just great. And they said, no, it's 1 hour, all the events are gone, there's no more fun games. And they were really upset, and I felt for them as a parent, as a school board member. I directed them through the proper channels of what they should do, but in fact, a lot of the Chatham parents had complained, and the answers they got frustrated them more. They were kind of nonsensical stuff that ranged from, they were told that, children really can't be outside that long, it would mess with the schedule. My favorite was that it wasn't an inclusive event because a lot of kids aren't sporty and they don't like that. And, I felt for them, I listened to them, I directed them where they should go. But I didn't realize that it was coming soon to a school near you because it happened at the other elementary schools. And when I went to the Linwood Field Day, saw the same thing. It was not what our children deserve. It was an hour. It was not even an hour because by the time you bring the children out, it's less than that. There's no competition anymore. Okay, you sat with your grade. Okay, red, if you're on team orange, you run back and forth, sit down. Okay, red, now back and forth. It was a parent with older children. And I guess, honestly, to be fair, if you have a K through 2, this is your first field day, you know better. Only the 4th and 5th grade parents or parents like myself who have older children didn't know what it was, what it could be. And it was with these children what it should be. And older parents with older children were saying, what is going on here? This is no fun. I talked to Many teachers at Linwood, at Chatham, one at Coopertown, all just a disappointment. I even asked my son, who loves gym. I said it was okay. He's like, gym class is more fun. It wasn't special anymore, and it made no sense to me. Even as a school board member, I couldn't figure out who made the change, why the change was made, and it was frustrating. The best I could come up was told was it was COVID related, and I'm going to be honest here. I don't believe that, because at the same time we're saying we can't hold an outdoor event, we packed off the middle schoolers, my 7th grader included, to Camp Canadensis. And if we can send children to Canadensis on a packed bus to sleep in dorms, to eat in a crowded mess hall, we can have an outdoor field day. So I'm sure that, I'm sure that some people on the board, maybe people think I'm crazy that, it's field day, who cares? It's one little thing. But one thing I've learned throughout COVID is little things matter. They matter a lot. And these things are how our children form connections. They make memories, and that feeds into social emotional wellness. I appreciate all of the efforts our district does on social emotional wellness, screeners that we have, mindfulness workshops, but no one is going to say in the 5th grade yearbook that their favorite memory was the 3rd grade mental health screener. And they remember the silly sponge race. They remember the times with their buddies. And even if you don't buy into that little things matter and you think that one thing is just a drop in the bucket, I'm going to remind people that we've gutted a lot of stuff at the elementary school. A lot of other little things have fallen to the wayside. In the course of time between my oldest son, who just finished his freshman year at high school, and my youngest, who is a rising 3rd grader, so many events have disappeared at our elementary schools. My oldest son took part in the kindergarten Thanksgiving Day, the Thanksgiving play. That's gone. There was Grandparents' Day. That's gone. There was, during the day, walkathon, so much fun, gone. 5th grade pool party, a time-honored tradition, that's gone. Someone just reminded me from Linwood that there was an end-of-the-year kindergarten a play of some sort. I remember it from my older boys. That's gone too. And it just has me very upset, because what's left? I mean, I know we haven't touched the amount of time we prep for standardized tests with these little guys, but the only fun things left seem to be the PTO activities. And as a member of the PTO, I appreciate those, but I also remind people on the board that PTO events occur on weekends or at night, and they're not accessible to all of our students. These events that were traditions at our schools that we've kind of taken and dismantled and no longer have, they're an opportunity for all of our students to participate during the day. And, the bottom line for me is we can't say we focus on social emotional wellness and then strip our elementary school students of opportunities to connect and feel belonging. And I promised every parent from Chatham, from Linwood, and a couple from Coopertown that I would speak about this and bring it to the board, and I would continue to bring it up, and I will. And I thank everyone for their time and listening to me.
If I may just offer one clarifying piece so that everybody is aware. I do know that the PE teachers have surveyed the oldest students, 4th, 5th grade. I'm not sure if it was both grades. I hate to put you on the spot, Dr. Raimondo's, both 4th and 5th grade. Thank you. So I do know that the PE teachers have gotten some input from students and are looking at, always looking at what they can do with that day. So I do want to clarify that that is not a change that has been instituted. They're getting that input and will be making changes. Yes, so I want to make sure people are aware of that.
Ms. Snodgrass?
No report.
Mr. Feinberg?
Just a quick legislative update on the state budget. There were significant additional dollars into K-12 this year. In Haverford share on the basic education funding line was up 26%. The new money is a little over $1 million. On the special ed side, it's 5.1%, about $136,000.
Something to celebrate. I know there were other things in the budget or that were hoped for legislatively that didn't get across the finish line, and we'll keep working on additional ways to support public education, but the funding piece is a key one for us and all the districts across the state. I also don't have a report. I just hope everybody is enjoying the summer and some downtime to rest and recoup, and looking at the agenda, as Dr. Rushi mentioned, for August, we'll be right back in it. So get your break and soak in the sun when you can. The board met in an executive session prior to this meeting. We met with special counsel to discuss information and strategy related to negotiation sessions with our collective bargaining unit. And we met with our solicitor to discuss business that, if conducted in public, would violate lawful privilege. The next regular public board meeting is scheduled to be held on August 4th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. here in the boardroom of the Oakmont Administration Building. And I will now accept a motion to adjourn.
Snodgrass moved.
Crispin, second.
Meeting